Everybody. So hi Tom, you're sitting in the car. Good to hear from you and see you.
No, I'm in my office and not in the car.
Oh no, there's another Tom Ferguson to see him
Oh,
there.
sorry.
My apologies, Tom. Tom B and Tom Ferguson. Anyway, and Julie, you're welcome. Guys, I'll get stuck in. This is a combination of multiple Toubkal and Morocco Atlas Mountains trips. It's a general, it's not specifically aimed at your particular trip, it's aimed at the overall jigsaw puzzle. The ambition behind this is to obviously give you more knowledge as to where you are, what you're going to be stepping into, and basically the itinerary or as close to it as possible. I'm going to talk about gear. I've got some gear behind me that I want to share on different aspects of how you approach the climb, and then what summit night looks like on Toubkal. Sarah, I know I've got to have a separate one with you, but I'm glad that you've come along to hear this particular part. This will help in your education, and I know there's two others that are on a 7 day trip, slightly different itinerary, a longer itinerary, and again, I'll be bolting on to that conversation for you in a separate one. But this is primarily focused at the Atlas. It's a general theme around clothing for everybody. So what we talk about clothing is it's going to be for everybody. So let's start at the very start. Obviously, flying in to Marrakesh, guys. Some people are on a Tuesday to Saturday. Some people are on a Saturday to Wednesday schedule. Regardless, Hassan, my incredible expedition leader, and his son Mohammed are going to be the expedition leaders in Marrakesh. These are the guardians to the Atlas Mountains. Anybody that knows me and knows who I am and what I am, I'm all about supporting the locals. I'm all about supporting their culture, their belief systems, their traditions, and very respectful that we are guests in their country. Even though these are my best friends, these are people I've been growing up with and I've been working with for a long time. You'll see the strength in the relationship when you get to meet these people and how much they'll share more than a typical ordinary expedition. So this is a purpose-built expedition based around culture, food, traditions, and the celebration of the Atlas Mountains. It's much more than just a climb. Um, so again, when you fly into Marrakesh, on whatever your flight, we have your itineraries, we have your arrival times. You'll see when you go through a Jason Black placard on the outside. But before you get to that point, there's quite a little bit to get through. Obviously, in the inside, you've got to get your visa, which you'll get on the inside. It's quite straightforward. You'll pay for your visa inside. It's a credit card or a few, ideally a credit card. It's in the information pack, how much you need and all the rest. So please read through that, scan through it. But once you get your visa stamped by the customs on the inside, basically it's on your passport. They just stamp it, they sign it. That's you good to go. That one thing that they have been looking for in the last couple of visits is which is a traditional small hotel in Marrakesh, which Riyadh you're staying in. You're all staying in Riyadh Omar, Omar, Riyadh Omar. I'll pop into the group the exact address that you're going to be staying in. It's actually in the information pack as well. But please go into the information pack, get your address, and get your telephone number for the hotel. They're going to ask you that when you're standing in front of them, in front of the little camera, where are you staying? And then some people have been caught out and said, I don't really know. And it causes that concern for immigration. So just Riyadh Omar, and you're doing a Toubkal expedition. They're quite used to that type of answer, and they're happy with that. So once you get through, you'll get to the carousel, typical carousel, pick up your bags, and then you've got to scan your bags out through another section. There is absolutely no drones allowed in. I know, Mark, you're into photography. There's no problem with cameras, but they will not, and they are absolutely bulletproof. They have an actual designed device that all bags have to go through, and it checks specifically for drones. The last time I took a drone out, it cost me about 400 quid to get my drone back. They confiscated it, fined me, and it cost me. It would have been much cheaper for me to give them the drone. But I stuck my heels in, and unfortunately had to pay the price. So please, no drones, cameras, mobile phones, no issue at all. That's all quite normal. So as I said, you'll get through to the far side. Outside the terminal front door, you'll see Hassan. He'll be wearing the Jason Black Mountaineering t-shirt, hat, and sign. And he will put you into our own VIP minibus, small little minibus that'll take you, it'll zoom you off into Marrakesh, where it probably takes about 15 minutes to get from the airport to the Riyadh, which is right in the middle of Tiananmen Square, in the middle of Marrakesh. So when you come out the Riyadh door, you turn left, within 3 minutes, you're in Tiananmen Square. You're in the heartbeat of the culture, the souks, the energy, and the madness at times of Marrakesh and the Moroccan culture. Beautiful for food, beautiful for spices, beautiful for jewelry, amazing for artworks. If you're into paintings and stuff like that, really unusual and beautiful. They love a good haggle. They'll start with $50. They'll probably take 10. So don't be afraid to haggle. Haggle, haggle, haggle. It's very much part of the ethos there. So wherever they start, make sure you half it and take another bit below it, because they're going to get you back up again. The arrival day, depending on your time, some people are coming in at 1 o'clock in the morning, which is absolutely fine. I've had to do that the last few trips myself, based with Ryanair. It's fine. You just get picked up and we go straight to bed. The next morning, breakfast at 8 a.m. and we generally leave the Riyadh at 9. Hassan and Mohammed will go through a gear check with you to ensure that you've got everything before you leave. If there's anything you've misplaced or don't have, don't panic. We have loads of resources out there to top up on walking poles, sleeping bags, anything that's something that's just gone astray. So do not panic. You'll take your expedition bag with you the whole way to the start of the trip on the bus to Immel. But before you do that, there's always a question around travel clothes. The easiest way to explain it is, for me personally, the gear that I travel out with, I travel back in. So I literally, the tracksuit bottoms, t-shirt, pair of runners that I travel out with, or whatever I'm wearing, I leave that in the Riyadh, and I get it when I come back, and then I fly back home in those exact same clothes. You can actually ask for them to be put into laundry, and they'll be lovely, sit, pressed, washed, ready for you when you come back, which is always a lovely treat. It's only a couple of bucks, but it's a nice treat. It'll be sitting waiting for you to come back to. You'll get your shower, you get into fresh clothes, and you can enjoy the rest of the evening before you fly out the following day. So let's go back to the trip. So to get from Marrakesh to Immel, it takes about 2 hours. Beautiful, windy road the whole way through the beautiful remote villages, and we end up at a final destination called Immel, which is the start of the Atlas Mountains. From there, you'll depart your bus. We generally would have a coffee and some opportunity just to kind of set the mood, have some snacks while all the bags are getting organized. What have you got with you, and what are you wearing at this point? At that stage, you should literally only have a small backpack. This reads from my own. This is kind of like a small backpack. This is a 38 liter, which is probably bigger than what you need. The reason being is I would be carrying the likes of first aid kits and stuff in my bag. You're not going to need that. What's in your bag? A rain jacket, a fleece, and a bottle of water. A rain jacket, a fleece, and a bottle of water. That's all that's going to be in that bag. So a simple backpack that you would have at home. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be posh. Just something that works, and something that works for you. Don't have to spend a ton of money on getting the latest gear. None of that nonsense. Have a look in your press. Ask a friend, ask a neighbor, ask a colleague, could you lend their backpack? And if it's somewhere between 20 liters and 25 liters, that's bang on. Even though it's 30 liters, that's also. What am I wearing at this stage? Again, the earlier stages of the trip, there's absolutely no problem going with a pair of hiking shorts, a regular pair of shorts that you would use here. There's nothing wrong with a pair of lightweight hiking trousers. And I would be as comfortable in a pair of ordinary trekking shoes or runners as I would my hiking boots. So they would be my regular hiking boots, just a regular pair of normal hiking boots that I wear in hills of Ireland and Donegal or whatever. And a pair of trail runners would be made up of the ones that I'm wearing. Just a regular pair of trail runners, good trail runners, that's all. So you can wear the trail runners the whole way up as far as the Toubkal Refuge. And from there, you'll definitely be moving then into boots for some more stability. However, if you want to just go with boots the whole way, that's equally fine. The one thing I would say, guys, and this is where people are making the mistakes, is don't buy a pair of boots the week before and expect to just be able to be fine in them. You're not. You're going to be in boots because it is, they're long days and steep ground at times where you're navigating through steep ground. Your toes are under pressure and your heels are under pressure, and you'll just rip your feet to shreds, and you're not going to enjoy the experience. I want to stay with feet for a second because it's a really important part. Compeed. Definitely get a couple of small boxes of Compeed, guys. They are a lifeline. The little Compeed you get in boots or any good chemist for the back of your heels or along your little baby toe. I'm not a big fan of buying the Compeed that's specific to locations. I'm more a fan of buying the bigger Compeed. Get a pair of scissors and cut them as you need them. So just have a little pair of scissors with you in your bag, and you can cut Compeed based on where the abrasion is or where the friction points are. So let's move up from the feet. Regular pair of socks. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need anything posh. I would be wearing a pair of socks with these trainers that I would wear to the gym on a regular basis, that are well washed, that I feel very comfortable in, and they're not freshly out of a packet that has that friction attached to a new pair of socks. Because socks that get through a wash, a good wash cycle, 50, 60 times, they have that abrasion taken out of that material, and it doesn't have that same impact against your skin. So a little small talcum powder, if you can get it in the airport on the way, is a really good tip at night, just to get the little bit of talc in through your feet, and just it's a really good recovery for your feet. Again, into trousers, I don't tend to go with shorts because I just don't like getting burnt. I would only be taking one pair of trousers with me on the Toubkal trip. You don't need any more than that for the mountain. They don't have to be a heavyweight trouser. The reality is, guys, whether you like it or not, you could actually climb Toubkal in a pair of tracksuit bottoms. You don't need to spend expensive money on the latest branded hiking trousers. It's not a fashion show up there. You can get lovely dressed up when you come back to Marrakesh, but in the mountains, nobody really cares. You're just there to enjoy the surroundings, nature, and there's nobody going to judge you on what you're wearing. But if you have a regular pair of hiking trousers, lightweight, that's bang on. That's all you need. So I'm going to stay with the lightweight gear for now before I start layering up as we get higher. So again, underwear, just regular pair of underwear, a couple of pairs that you would normally wear. On top, I would have a t-shirt. I'm not a big fan of cotton t-shirts because I find that they really smell, especially when you're on your feet 6-7 hours. However, you will get away on this trip with it, but you're better with a more synthetic type one. Anybody that's out there that has merino wool t-shirts, then even better. But again, don't be walking out because Jason told you to buy a merino wool t-shirt for this type of trip when you're trying to get your teeth into something more substantial and elevated with altitude. Don't have to go out and spend a load of money. Have a look in your wardrobe and in your drawers in your bedroom before you start spending money. But a regular t-shirt that you wear to the gym is bang on. I would definitely throw in for the trip 2 t-shirts. I'm talking about on the mountain. Anything that's outside of the mountain in Marrakesh, like a dress or a lovely pair of shorts or a t-shirt, just to pull on to enjoy your evening out or a few beers or whatever later on, that's a different conversation. I'm talking about mountain gear. So again, 1 pair of trousers, 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of jocks, 2 t-shirts, 1 fleece, just a regular fleece that you buy in Mountain Warehouse. Nothing expensive, 15, 20 quid. Zips up and down here, ideally with a collar on it, doesn't have to have a hood. When it zips, it's just perfectly to allow a bit of ventilation into your chest and just let a bit of air or heat out if you are running a little bit hot. From there, we're now kind of at Toubkal base camp. So you'll go from Immel directly to the refuge, and you're talking between stopping for lunch on the way up, which I'm going to talk about food and hydration later on. But on the way up, it's probably 6-7 hours of a reasonable pace. Nothing crazy. Why? Altitude is our enemy. If you go fast, if you start to try to be the hero and want to prove to everybody that you're super fit and strong. We know that you're super fit and strong, but you don't need to show it to us, because altitude is the enemy. You'll arrive in, you've got there too fast, your acclimatization has been too aggressive. All of a sudden, you've got headaches, and you've got the huge effects of high altitude sickness to deal with and to try to stave off over the next 3 to 4 hours, which is very uncomfortable. The key is to just take a lovely measured approach about your progression up the mountain. The guides will set the tone. Just stay with them, and enjoy the surroundings. Enjoy the Immel Valley. It's absolutely, you're going through these beautiful villages. These are farmers' villages on the way up. These are real life villages. The farmers are still there in the Atlas, farming above Armid and Immel, the two key villages in that valley, and that's where they graze in the pastures. The higher up you get, obviously the vegetation will disappear, and you're down to a more primitive environment. That won't be long till that happens. It'll probably happen after about 3 hours. There's very little life up there, even wildlife. I mean, at this stage now, you're probably going to be about 2,500 or just below 2,500 meters at the refuge. So the refuge, there's 2 refuges. We booked you into the upper one. I believe it's the better one. So we booked you in for there. That's going to be your new base. When you arrive there, your bag will be waiting for you. Omar, who's our cook and our mule farmer, he will have moved your bags further up the valley ahead of you, and it'll be sitting waiting for you at the refuge. So that's kind of day one. Nutrition-wise on day one, obviously you've had your breakfast in the riad. We're going to have some snacks when we arrive to Immel, and then on the trail, you'll have loads of beautiful almond nuts, dates that are all grown in the valley, all fresh produce that Hassan will have organized for you. You can pick out which variety you like, from walnuts, which are grown directly above his village in Armid, and then at the halfway point, which is in around maybe about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe 1:30, Omar will have presented this beautiful meal made up of the most mouth-watering salads, guys. Just the food these people turn out is incredible. Fresh tagines, all made fresh right in front of you. They've gone ahead a couple of hours, and they're presenting this beautiful food. So tagines, breads, and the breads aren't like the breads we have here. These are lovely flat bread, and you don't feel bulked up from them. And there's a gorgeous taste from them, whatever way they knead the flour together and whatever type of flour they use. It's very different. And loads of salads, as I said, pastas and rice, water, juice, tea, and mint tea in particular. So we'll have fresh mint from the garden, from Hassan's garden, and we'll be making beautifully fresh mint tea for you every day. Mint tea is really good for the digestive system, fabulous for high altitude hydration. And it's not like mint tea that you would have here, just that beautiful fresh mint. For those that don't like mint tea, that's fine. We'll obviously make you regular tea. They don't use milk or stuff out there, but they use loads of sugar, proper sugar cane. You'll go through all this experience, and you'll be able to work out what you like and dislike. And the guys are more than accommodating. My team are more than to give you what you require. So then move back to the refuge, get into the refuge, get yourself organized. It's a dormitory environment. There's no choice, because that's the structure, the type of the sleeping arrangements. Obviously, we'll have a male, female setup, but it's a very basic environment, a dormitory, a typical dormitory that you'd see in Italy or France or in any of these adventure environments. It's got a communal space where we eat. And then obviously Omar then does the cooking. So Omar does the cooking. We bring all our own fresh food and produce the whole way with us up the valley. We buy it ourselves fresh in the market the day before. And we have a very specific kind of nutritional plan that suits high energy delivery. So you'll have dinner that night, which could be made up of a chicken tagine. You won't get any pork out there, just down to their religion. If you're a vegetarian, you are going to heaven, because they are vegetarian, unbelievable vegetarian food, which is absolutely beautiful. So then you settle in for the evening. There'll be more of a debate and conversation around what's planning. We will be getting your crampons. If anybody's there in a more winter state, some of the trips are going to be later into October, November. So there may be some crampons for people that's in there. October time and September time, you're going to be in summer conditions, dry underfoot, temperatures lovely by day. And then that final push to the summit at nighttime is going to be cold. So I'm going to talk about that next. So have we any questions before I go any further based on the conversation I've had so far?
One question I have, you talk about the information pack. Have you emailed us already, or we get that?
Whenever you would have booked on, you would have got a confirmation email, and the information pack is in the confirmation email. So
all right, okay.
Just click on that. But I will, if you send an email directly to Sharon, sharonblack@donegal.net, she will send you out the thing. Or if you send me a message on WhatsApp, I'll be able to just send it straight to you. And all right.
Yeah, no worries, thanks. And the other thing would be, do we get another meeting as well specifically for our trip, or is this
no, I'll be talking to you. Which trip are you on?
The October 13.
On the regular 5-day trip?
Yes,
No, this is it. You don't need one after.
No, it's
the 7-day one.
It's a 7-day one. Okay.
Oh no, that's different. Yeah, no, I'll have a different conversation with you guys on that trip. No.
Oh, okay.
This is kind of giving you a general feel for what the Atlas Mountains, but the gear that we're going to talk about is exactly the same. Your itinerary is different because you're taking on a different selection of range and mountains, including Toubkal. So, but the general theme of this conversation, the airport arrival, the riad, the food, the clothing is all relative to everybody. It's just your itinerary slightly different.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome. So at this stage now, the Toubkal team are heading, and including everybody, are now going to be going for a summit push to 4,200 meters from roughly about 2,528. I can't remember exactly the altitude of the record. But starting out probably 12 o'clock, getting up. Do you sleep? Very, very difficult to sleep in a dormitory with everybody busy and nervous about what's happening. So if somebody wants to have a sleeping tablet, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the sleeping tablet. There's these anecdotal conversations about sleeping tablets aren't good at altitude. Load of nonsense. We've been using them for years and years and years. If you want to knock yourself out because you need to get 6 or 7 hours sleep, or you need 5 hours sleep, take a sleep. We'll soon waken you. We'll soon come looking for you at 12 o'clock to get you out of your bed. You're not going to sleep in. Or if somebody's beside you, make sure they give you a bit of a rattle. They are getting up. So if you're kind of nervous and you think, oh, I'm not going to sleep, take a sleeping tablet. If it's something that you're accustomed to doing, then so be it. If you're somebody that's very easily put to sleep, well done. There is a few, and I'd be envious of you all the time. So going to the summit, up at 12 o'clock, beautiful big breakfast. You will be hungry. Even if you're not hungry, I would say eat, because you know what's going to be happening in the next 4 or 5 hours. You're going to be leaving roughly about 2 a.m. in the morning. Time to get your boots and everything organized. In the refuge, guys, when you arrive to the refuge, you're not allowed any boots or shoes inside. There'll be Crocs and sliders there that they provided in the refuge. So you don't need to bring extra with you. If some people like to bring their own, that's completely fine. But there is Crocs and sliders there for everybody to enjoy. There will be somewhere to put your shoes. Hassan will show you exactly where to put them. And then you pop on your sliders, and that's you for the evening. So take your bag into the dormitory, and then from there, you can basically get your kit organized. I just want to point this out because it does be an issue. Just because you're sharing an dormitory with people, some people's behaviors can be very, they don't do the packing until they're just about to go to bed. But everybody's been in bed for the last hour, and then you just start to zip open your bag and pull gear out. So I'm a big fan of when I get in and get some food, get my kit together, get my admin done and dusted, have everything all set out, have my backpack ready with my torch put into it, with my woolly hat in it, with my buff in it, and have all that kind of cold weather stuff in my backpack, so that whenever I go looking for it, I know where it is. It's not in a bag that I'm rusting to find it, and everybody's everybody's trying to find stuff, and it's a bit frantic, and you're sweating, and you're getting all, you're getting all kind of upset about the whole thing. So the better, the more prepared your administration is, your admin is, when you come into the refuge just after dinner, the more, first of all, you can lie down and sleep because you're not thinking about it because everything's done and dusted. And then when you get up, you just basically pull on your trousers, pull on your socks, put on your boots, put on your t-shirt, put on your fleece, put on your big jacket, which I'm going to talk about, put on your hat, and away out the door. And you've got everything in your backpack ready to go. So that makes sense. So there, guys, leaving 2 o'clock. I mean, I'm just throwing these numbers at you. Hassan will have an exact time that he wants everybody to leave, but generally it's about 2. We get there in the morning time about 7, maybe 6:45. Then around 7 o'clock is roughly when we summit. It's truly an amazing experience because the sunrise summit in the morning time, it will blow your mind. 4,000 years watching the sun rise up, the Sahara, and the Atlas Mountains as they just light up. The hike isn't overly aggressive as in steep, but it is a long hike. So to get from the refuge to the summit it is a bit of a push, and it is down to that psychology of getting into the gutter, putting one foot in front of the other, and just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And before you know it, as the sun comes up, everything changes. Your mood changes, and your psychology changes because now you're not looking inward at the pain, you're looking outward at the views, and everything changes about it. And you're just your appreciation, your appreciation for Mother Nature is just like, wow, this is special. Especially for people that have never been at altitude before. There's a lot of people that have done regular trekking and hiking in Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, but have never stood on a 4,000-meter mountain before. That's going to be fascinating for you. And dealing with high altitude, dealing with the effects of high altitude, and just dealing with the attrition that it takes to climb a long 4,000-meter mountain. But as sure as day follows night, you will get there as long as you have the courage to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And it doesn't really matter how much the guides tell you, look, keep going, keep going, keep going. You've got to have that self belief inside that you want to get there. And, success only comes through hard work. And it is hard work to get from the refuge to the summit. But if you want to stand there triumphantly looking over the Sahara and feeling like a rock star, and that essence of what you've achieved internally, then you're going to have to go through that pain cave. You're going to have to get into the gutter and push and push and push, and it will, the sun will come up, and the day will change, and the mood will be absolutely amazing. When you get to the summit, I'm sure you've all seen the beautiful triangle that marks the summit of Toubkal. You will see it 1 hour out from your journey. You'll look up and you see it, and that will definitely inspire you and empower you to push on. From there, time is yours on the summit. 20 minutes, half an hour, there's no rush. I want you to enjoy the summit, to take your photographs, do little videos to your family. Do take the notes on this. Do to your daughter that you want to inspire, to your son, to your uncle, to your auntie, to whoever you want to share that moment with. Got here, it's taken everything that's in my body. I can do it, you can do it. People that are maybe struggling with a disability back home, people that are struggling with a mental health issue, people that would just love and would give their left arm to be up there. I would just to have that, to have that opportunity to stand on an incredible mountain. To stand on an incredible mountain like Toubkal. Be very mindful that there's others would give up everything in their life to do what you're getting the opportunity to do. So just don't let it go over your head. So make those messages, have those phone calls, and then when you come back and down and you look at them and you reflect on them, you'll be like, oh, that was an amazing feeling. So from there, then it's back down the mountain. Obviously, it's a much faster descent, but you are tired. One thing I haven't spoke about is walking poles. I have been for the last 5 years. I'm a huge fan of walking poles for 2 reasons. One is on the way up, they definitely give you more power So you move your strength from 2 legs to 4 pieces. So shoulders and legs are working at the same time. It means that you can distribute the energy right around the body as opposed to just focusing on 2 legs. Definitely on the way down, they're brilliant for stability and also just to give that extra bit of confidence on the way down. Takes the pressure away from the knees as well, guys. It's a long way down from the summit of Toubkal to Armid because you do not stop at the refuge. You stop at the refuge for breakfast, but you're only getting about a half an hour to an hour, and then you're continuing on down to the village below, which is called Armid. And you could be on your feet that day, guys, for 12, 14 hours. You know, it's a long, long day. Okay, so now you've found yourself back down at the refuge. Hopefully the energy of what you've achieved will be there. The fatigue will also be there. You'll get revitalized with some beautiful, nutritious food, which Omar will have presented to you. What do you eat on the hike on the way up? Let's talk about that. This is where I would encourage you to take some snacks of your own. Take your own Scooby snacks, guys, because there is a taste that people like. I'll give an example. I love Bounty bars. I just like them because they're Mars bars and marathons and Star bars and stuff. They're just they go hard in the cold and you just can't eat them. And they're just hard work. And I just find a beautiful Bounty bar. I've got the chocolate, I've got the sugar. Some people are into gels. If you are, the gels are fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it's sugar that's powering you. So don't get into this kind of whole ethical thing about what I'm eating. It's just sugar. Glucose is what you need at that moment in time to get you to that summit. So while you might start out thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do dates, I'm going to do nuts, and I'm going to keep it all ethical, that'll all go out the window quite quickly. Sugar. Jelly babies. That type of stuff that you don't normally eat normally. Jelly babies are amazing. They get that sugar hit all the way. Little sugars, anything like that you really enjoy, have your little stash and have them on the pockets of your body, not in your backpack. Have them available that you can slide a zip open, put your hand in, pull out a few sweets, zip up, and you have it. You haven't stopped anybody. You haven't had to stop yourself, and you're just eating on the hoof. We call it grazing. Okay, so that's kind of what I've eaten on the way up. Drink-wise, this is a 1 liter Nalgene. This is our regular 1 liter Nalgene that we would use. 2 liters of water every single day in your backpack. You don't have to buy these posh bottles. You can take a regular water bottle. You can buy 2 1 liter water bottles out of the shop and use those to fill them up because you're not on an overly long taxing expedition and you can discard them when you come back down again. So without having to buy an Nalgene, you can use 1 liter bottles with a screw top on them. Get them in the you'll get them in the shops out there. Just regular drinking water bottles that you get. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't have those, I don't have time to get them, don't know where to get them, you get them in the likes of Great Outdoors. You get them in any of those good outdoor outlets. That's a 1 liter bottle and it's got a white top on it. All right. Simple, straightforward. Where I find these are brilliant as well. Hot water at night. They act as a great sleeping, the great hot water bottle. Do not do that with a regular water bottle that you get in the shop because it's just, it'll perish and you're going to get burned. But with this here, brilliant. Pour your hot water in, stick it into your blanket at night in the refuge, and voila, you're sleeping. Sleeping bag, you do not need a sleeping bag. This is for the Toubkal trip. The others, I'll talk to you about that. But you in the refuge, if you want to take a sleeping bag, you can. You don't need it. The refuge provide blankets. I find the blankets a little bit itchy. That's just me, and I want to share that with you. I found that sometimes that kind of like blanket material, it's like an old blanket that your granny would have given you years ago. It's got that kind of little friction thing in it. I don't like that against my skin. That's just me. So you may want to take like a sleeping bag liner, so you can pull into it. It's a very light silk liner. That's pretty cool. If you are wearing like some pajamas, you probably won't notice the blanket against your skin. Your call. I'm not a pajama person, as you can imagine. So that's the kind of sleeping arrangement. So going to the summit, what am I wearing? That's the important question now. So leaving the refuge, you should never leave warm. You should leave cold. Why? Because if you're warm, standing outside the front door of the refuge at 1 o'clock in the morning, within 20 minutes of starting to go up steep ground, your sweat is going to be running off you. And you're going to find yourself on steep ground trying to take jackets off and layers off. You don't want to do that, because on your left-hand side is quite a gnarly, steep section. So you don't want to be dealing with that. So I always leave where I'm a little bit kind of cold. It's cold, but I'll be okay when I get going. If you feel like that, that's exactly the way you should feel. If you're standing out going, God, there's a lovely night, you don't feel cold at all. Well, I can tell you one thing, you're going to be absolutely toasted in 20 minutes. So I have never wore base layers to the summit of Toubkal, ever, winter or summer. I run hot. If you're somebody that's listening to this conversation, it tends to be a cold critter, as they say in Donegal, well, then you may need a base layer. You may need like a long john. And in the girl's case, you may need maybe like a pair of leggings underneath your hiking trousers. But a regular pair of hiking trousers is ideal, guys. So again, I'm going to the summit with these boots on, one pair of regular hiking socks, not the trail runner socks, the hiking socks, not overly thick, just regular ones that I wear. I'm going to the summit with my pair of regular hiking trousers on. I'll probably wear a t-shirt, because I don't wear long sleeve base layers, because that t-shirt will then become my t-shirt for the way down in the sunshine. So my t-shirt on the way up with my fleece, and then I back it up with the jacket. Two types of jackets you can have. I brought both here. This is a light puff, the regular light puff. Now this is a goose down one. They don't get blinded. There's ones out there that are filled with cotton wool. They look like a jacket, but they don't behave like a jacket. They certainly don't perform like a jacket. So make sure you know what is inside the jacket. The thermal insulation has to be at a good enough level. It is bloody cold up there. We're talking on a regular night, it could, depending on the night and depending on the winds, it could dip as low as -5. So you could be into minus numbers. 2, -5 doesn't get much colder than that. During the day, it's beautiful, but at nighttime, it can get as cold as that. You'll generally find that a jacket like that will be enough to get you to the summit. You can back it up with your rain jacket. So I would have, again, my 4 layers would be my t-shirt, my fleece, my puff jacket, and my rain jacket. You're not going to need anything more than that. You're not probably going to need to put the rain jacket on. So that's what's on my upper body. Buff, I don't generally use a buff. It's not cold enough for a buff. But if you have a wee light buff, you can wear it. Definitely going to take my woolly hat with me. Just a regular woolly hat that I use. Have that on. And then I've got my head torch on here. I wanted to show you head torches because people make a big mistake with head torches, guys. I see it all the time. They don't make the investment in a proper head torch. Aldi and Lidl do head torches, but they're no good for mountains, guys. These are head torches that you'd use around the house. If it's a Lidl or Aldi head torch that you have, forget about it. Waste of time. One thing that you need to be able to do is see up there. And if you can't see, it really affects your movement, your foot positioning, and it unnerves you when you can't see what you're doing. So this is a black diamond head torch. It's a regular one. The one that I use, I've got 2 types. This is the one with the batteries in the back of it, so I can just pull the batteries out. If you're going to use the head torch, it's just a small tip, guys. The top battery on the head torch, I always take it out and turn it the other way around so that it doesn't switch itself on in the bag. But I know which battery I've turned. So the top battery in the torch, turn it arse about face, as they say, so that when you turn it on, it doesn't work. So that it means that when you go to get it out of your bag, you realize it hasn't been lying on for the last 4 or 5 hours and it's now dead. So just that's a wee mountaineering tip that we would have. So a good head torch that goes onto the front of your hat, like so, and that's it. And that's you've got it, and you can do all the different settings. You can go low, high, and you can see everything. And I can look up, I can see where I'm at, I can see the height ahead of me, I can see the rocks, I can see the movement. And turning up with one of these, Mickey Mouse torches, and I'm not being belittling Lidl or Aldi or any of these kind of strip LEDs. Waste of time. Like they are the worst money you can spend. So please invest in a relatively good black diamond torch. Gloves. I want to talk about gloves. Ski gloves. Ski gloves is adequate. I'm going to show you my posh gloves purely because I have them, but they're kind of like this kind of a thing. So one thing I'll share a little bit of information about gloves. Tight gloves, you will have hot hands. Loose gloves, you'll have lovely warm hands. It's the space that's in the glove that allows the air to be trapped, and it's the body heat that heats up the air, and the trapped air is what keeps your hand warm along with the thermal value of the glove. So a good quality ski glove, larger than normal. If you walk into the shop and it's a very snug, tight fit, I wouldn't say I'd be panicking, but I'd definitely be looking for a size up. All right. So a regular good ski glove will do the trick for you. There's no technical gear required. There's no ice axes or anything like that required for any of these expeditions. Okay. And again, obviously the backpack. What's in the backpack? Bit of food, bit of water. There's no need to go with a bladder to the summit because it'll freeze. The pipe that's running out of your bag and down to your right or left lapel will freeze over. So a bladder is no good. You'll get away with a bladder on the earlier hike, as in up as far as the refuge, but going to the summit, forget about it. That's why these are more important than bladders. Bladders are okay for low-level trekking in Ireland or Europe, but certainly not on a high-altitude mountain. Okie dokie. How do you capture the magnificence of what you've achieved? For me, I just use a phone. A regular good quality phone will get you all the videos and all the camera, all the footage that you need. I know that there is some people that are big into photography, and I'd be really excited about seeing your content, and they'll want to capture those magnificent shots and lines and horizons. And fair play to you. You're just going to have a little bit of extra weight to carry up there. For people that need to charge, the likes of Mark and others that'll have maybe some more high-tech gear, there is the opportunity to charge at the refuge. So don't be panicking if you have a Canon camera and you want to back it up with a couple of batteries. For anybody else, maybe take a small power bank with you. Put it into your day bag, or not your day bag, into your bag that's going onto the mule, and it'll go ahead of you. Don't forget your charging cables. Make sure that you've done a little bit of research into what the appropriate pin point are. It's two pin with a USB. You get the airports now have these kind of a multi-tool universal kind of a plug that you can get everything on. That's ideal for Marrakesh, and it's okay for up on Toubkal, the mountain itself. So obviously you've been to the summit. We've gone through the complete gear. As you're descending, you're starting to take everything off and putting it away. And then obviously you're back to the refuge. You've got your food. You've got a chance to get yourself tidied up and organized. And then you're dropping down to Armid, which is nearly down below, just about an hour above Imbil, the place that you started. And then from there, I'm not going to tell you everything that's going to happen there because it's a bit of a surprise, but that's where Hassan and Mohammed live. You're going to go into their home. You're going to experience what life's like behind the scenes. All the other teams just fly by, go back to the bus and head straight back. We want people to experience the values and the Berber kind of experience in the mountain with the local people. So Berber is a name, I shouldn't have even used it, but I just want to let you know what that means. Berber is like, excuse the expression, it's like the itinerant from the mountain. It's a cruel name. People from Marrakesh would have called the people from the Berbers from the mountain, which is like the tramp or the itinerant or the least educated person from the mountain. They have their own proper name from the mountain. I just can't remember it off the top of my head or how to pronounce it. But they will use the word Berber because it's what we have become known. We know them as, but unfortunately it's a slang and it's not a nice slang. So they don't really like to be called Berber from the mountain. As I said, like the people from Marrakesh who would be classified as more civilized, seen them as the least educated society coming from the mountains. Anybody that loves mats or tapestry or in Imil before you leave is the co-op where you can buy the most unbelievable mats. I have one to my right-hand side here. You can ship it home. I thought like it was a bit of a joke that they would ship it by USB or what do you call it, any of these shipping companies, and the damn thing's nearly home before you. So don't be put off by buying you want to buy a beautiful big mat, but you have no way of getting it home. You can buy the mat and ship it home, and they are so trustworthy, these people. If they say the mat's going to be shipped to your address, it'll be shipped to your address. When you buy in the high Atlas Mountains, you're buying from the locals that run co-ops, and they all come into this area and they sell their produce. Don't feel that you have to, but they have some gorgeous stuff. Leathers, shoes, like these little slip-on shoes, little beautiful little quirky things that you'll love around the home. I have loads of little trinkets and stuff that I use. I even brought back my own tagine there lately, and I cook away a tagine now on the gas stove in the house. And you can buy the spices when you're out there as well, and you can get that lovely tagine flavors, which is typically an Irish stew done in a Moroccan style. So we're back down in Tiarmid. Bring your swimming togs with you. You might see that we do the waterfall. We'll go to a beautiful element of the waterfall, which is not commercialized. It's where the locals go, kind of a little bit of a secret. So we'll go there, and then we'll make our way back down the valley in your shorts that you're wet in, because you'll be dry in about 20 minutes, and we'll be back to Immel, where we'll get ourselves organized. The gear will come back, and then obviously it's onto the bus and back to Marrakesh, where you're going to enjoy a beautiful shower and get shaved and get cleaned up and feel precious again. And then we're going to have a celebration meal that night, which we look after, and obviously your certificates, and just obviously a celebration of everything that's beautiful. You'll have time the following morning or that evening to go around the souks. For anybody that is staying on that wants to hire Hassan, you can do so. There's no big deal. There is the option, and for the hot air balloon, if you're doing the hot air balloon on the Saturday morning or whatever morning you're leaving, so if your flight's in the afternoon, you have loads of time. If your flight's in the morning, forget about it. If you have an afternoon flight that you have 4 o'clock in the evening, you have loads of time, because generally you're picked up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're taken out into the desert. You have this beautiful, beautiful breakfast in a Moroccan tent. When the pilot then will do the safety briefing, and then it's into the basket and it's up you go, and it's a sunrise hot air balloon experience out over the Atlas Mountains with Toubkal to your right hand side and all the rest of them. It is sensational. I've done it several times, and it's beautiful. It's very safe. Very, very safe. I did see some kind of negativity about some experiences, but I know that people that we use, Sharid, has a very, very high level of service and standard, and so I'd highly recommend it. And you're back again in the Riyadh about 12 o'clock, so they'll pick you up and drop you back. That's people that are going, I think it's 175 or 179 euro. It's a cost price. We don't take any money on it. It's just a bolt on for your experience. Hammam is basically a Turkish bath. It's where they scrub you down. You'll be taken to a beautiful hot hammam, which basically is a hot room, all tiled, like underfloor heating running through the walls and everywhere else. It's beautiful, and they basically wash you, bathe you, and scrub you within an inch of your life. And that's what a hammam is. It's 50 quid for that. And that's really it, guys. The people themselves are beautiful. Couple of things to look out for. There is always the threat in Marrakesh itself with pilferage. You'll not experience this in the mountain. Two very different personalities. I suppose they're a little bit more streetwise and tourism wise down in Marrakesh. So again, ladies, handbags, please keep them to your front. Fellas, just keep an eye in your pockets. I'm not saying they're all like that, but there is a couple of rogue elements that do exist, especially when you're looking at maybe the snake trainers, and you get your phone out, guys, to take a photograph. The minute you take your phone out to get a photograph, you be expected that you're going to be chastised for a $5 or a $10 for taking that photograph. So these are the type of behaviors that you'll see. But look, I'm sure you're streetwise enough to be able to deal with it. Hassan will be with you at all time. He'll make sure that you're safe and well. So from there, obviously, it's whatever time is your pickup. We'll know what your pickup is. If it's within our itinerary, that's part of the deal. If it's outside of the itinerary, then there's an extra charge. You can see that in the information pack, but we can arrange everything for you. And then it's back to the airport where Hassan will say the goodbyes, and that's your trip finished. So I am opening the floor to everybody. I may have left something out, maybe questions that you have, and feel free to shoot from the hip. Any that's specific to your trip that's not part of the typical standard Toubkal trip, you can also speak about that. I may not have the complete answer for you here now. That might be another conversation that I'll have to have for you, but the floor is open.
One question. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no. Just about tipping, like for tipping Hassan and Mohammed at the end of the trip and stuff, will that be euros or dollars or?
Euros is perfect.
What? Yeah, and we can get local currency then in Marrakesh itself.
Yeah, that's a really good point. ATMs are ready available. You won't need a lot of money, to be honest with you, because the minute you arrive to the minute you depart, everything's covered except your beers and stuff like that. It is a dry state, but there is a couple of places that will serve a glass of wine, a bottle of beer. We will take you to the Sky Bar because people do like to have a bit of a celebration on the final night. Some do, some don't. That is your discrepancy. But if you're buying trinkets or some souvenirs and stuff for family members, you can go to the ATM and get it out. And the ATM it's no more than 50 meters from the front door of the Riyadh.
One thing, the accommodation in the mountain, dormitories, and how do we get like separate room for 3 or 4 people, or do you have any more information about that? I'm just checking to prepare myself.
No,
basically.
just run for the first dormitory and hope that you get a bed.
Sorry?
You can run for the first dormitory and hope you get a bed.
Okay.
So, I mean, look, we know who's coming. We know male, female. We Hassan is this. We have this dialed in. We do this all day, every day. So we will have it. In Armid, you will have your own rooms. You'll have your own private room, like a husband, wife. But the men will be all chucked into one room. The women that are separate, are single, will be chucked into one room. Will be kind of joined together. But within reason, everybody will have their own space. But in the Riyadh, it's a shared accommodation. So we'll be putting 2 men together, 2 rooms together, or a couple will be going together. There is the option for single supplement. Sharon explains that in the information pack. For anybody who wants single supplement in Marrakesh, we can do that, no problem. As far as the refuge is concerned, it's a bunker. It's a bunker refuge, and that's
Cool. Thank you.
Can I just ask a quick question, Jason? Sorry. Just, you know, when you're mentioning about the altitude, like I know it's only, well, it's about 2 days of trekking and one where the altitude will probably affect you most. I mean, it would be my first time doing kind of altitude trekking. Just would you recommend like taking something with you for the altitude, or
you're not there long enough, and it's not you're not there long enough to get the super effects of high altitude. You're not there long enough to grow hemoglobin either to deal with it, and because it's a wham bam thank you ma'am experience, you're in and out. So whenever you get up there, really the only thing that you'll be suffering with will be maybe a bit of a headache, and that's easy sorted out with paracetamol. I will talk about medicines maybe more at this point because you brought that subject round nicely. I'm not a big fan of Diamox on a short expedition. There's no need for it, guys. Maybe the 7-day trip I'll talk to you about Diamox, but certainly for the 5-day trip, the 2 days in the mountain, you're not going to get the effect of it, guys. The only effect you will have maybe might be a headache. That's where you hit it with the paracetamol. Anti-inflammatory, I would have a small slither of an anti-inflammatory, like 1 piece out of a box, for to do with maybe some joint swelling on the way back down again, or to help a joint pain, which is common. The other 2 areas that can affect people because they're not used to is motilium for maybe a little bit of diarrhea, and I would take maybe a sleeve of Metilium as well with me. I wouldn't be taking boxes of this stuff with me for like a month. I would just taking a slip, and I would make up a small little clear bag of my Metilium, of my paracetamol. I am a fan, guys, believe it or not, of taking an antibiotic with me. Amoxicillin is one that I use regular. The amoxicillin for me fixes the ears, fixes the throat, and fixes the chest. The three key commodities in respiratory cardiac system. So they're the kind of effects that can happen. You know, those type of things can creep up on you on the flight on the way out, can creep up on you when you get there. And if you at least have the antibiotic, you can hit it, and it means that it keeps you in the trip. Even though you might be feeling the best, it keeps you in the trip, as opposed to having to give up because you can't get your hands on some drugs. And as I said, other than that, it's Compeed. Not much more needed than that. I don't need to labor you with, like, do I need soda cream? No, you don't. Do I need Vaseline? No, you don't. Do I need sun cream? Yes, you do. I think I brought mine. I didn't left it in the house. I don't like sun cream. I like sun oil. My skin, I've got that type of skin that P20 oil works brilliantly in my skin. I've done the whole sun cream in the years gone by, and it's just a disaster. It doesn't work for me at all. So that's medicine-wise, Maura, where I'm at. So to answer your question bluntly, you don't need Diamox. You're not going to get the benefit.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Jason,
go for it.
Sorry, is there a good phone signal over there, or do you recommend somebody to use for an eSIM or something like that? You know what you were saying, to send messages back. Will you get any signal on the mountain or anything? No,
nothing up there, Mark. Waste of time.
No, you won't get anything at all.
No. You can read all the blogs you want, but you'll get led into a false pretense that there's a signal up there. It doesn't exist. Doesn't matter what eSIM you have. I've had them all, from Airlo to, can't remember the last one I've used. I tried a different one this time to see if you could get something. You'll see the odd time a guide finding a little corner of a rock, and he's able to get something out. But 9 times out of 10, he's on a completely different system to what you're on, and he may just be able to get a message out to a family member. It's not going to happen for you. You're going to get Wi-Fi. You're going to get Wi-Fi in Armid on the way back down to get some nice shots out, and you're certainly going to get loads of it in Marrakesh. And if it was me, I would
just know, we can tell the family would be radio silent for a couple of days or whatever it is. That's handy to know.
Get the message out in Marrakesh leaving, and you'll get the message back to them in 2 days later and 2.5 days later when you get back to Marrakesh, and that's it. We will have regular contact with our teams. We know what's happening. So if we need to communicate with you, we'll have that. We'll be able to touch base. We have all your emergency contact details to say that there's an issue or there's a problem, or God forbid there's been an issue at home and you've got to hear about it straight away. So if there is a case and we do need to get something out to you, we will get it out to Armid, and then from Armid we will have a porter making their way to base camp to get the message to you. So don't feel that you've no communication. We just have our own orthodox way of doing it. But as far as an eSIM is concerned, Mark, forget about it.
Waste of time. Thanks for that.
Do we need any vaccination for that, or we don't? That's
a very personal question. I don't do vaccinations full stop because I just don't want to put any of that stuff in my body. But that's me, and I'm on expedition full time. So between Africa, South America, Nepal, and Morocco, I've never had to deal with. There is no vaccination passport required on entry. You won't be asked for it, and there is no requirement. But again, it's down to your own personal judgment.
Thank you.
I'm going on the September tour on the 20th, and will there be need for gloves, for the warm gloves that time?
The gloves, as I said, it's the same warm glove you're going to need in August, September, October. Same glove.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll need a good quality glove.
Okay.
Like a guide glove, or a leather glove with a good insulation. But I sometimes get a good glove, but they're too tight. I'd rather a less, a lower quality glove with loads of room inside. Some people, to make up the difference in the thermal value that they don't have in their glove, they take along those little hand warmers like the little chemical-based hand warmers, where they stick
Yeah.
them together and then they shove them into the glove, and voila, it does the trick.
Okay.
So they're a really good backup. You know, they're what are the €2 for the hand warmers, the little chemical hand warmers, and I would definitely have a couple in my backpack so that you can, you know, whack them together, rub them together, and that's what gets the chemistry working and the chemical, and then shove it into your glove, and you've got lovely hot hands.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Alan Conroy, good to see you online, brother.
All right, all good.
All good. I just spotted you there. How's life?
Very good. Can't complain now.
Good man. Good to see
Flying it.
you. Good to see you. Fit, healthy?
Oh yeah, no bother at all. Back there. All good.
Good man. How's everybody else there? Any other questions?
If we think maybe we go a day earlier. So we just, as soon as we have booked the flights, could we book an extra night in that hotel in Marrakesh?
Sharon can sort, once Sharon gets notice, she can sort all that out for you.
Okay.
And
Brilliant.
it's relatively cheap, like it's not expensive. I can't remember what the single supplement is or the double, but depending on what you need, yeah. No issue. Just give us the dates that you need and we'll sort it out.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
No problem.
Jason, can you hear me?
Yes, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. What kind of temperature are you looking at up to the refuge?
During the day, and hopefully you'll be there before 4 o'clock, Tom. Mild conditions. Mild conditions. Talking, 10 degrees at worst.
Up to the first refuge?
Yeah.
All right.
So during the
Whereas
day,
it could be in the 30s in Marrakesh, and you're looking at totally different temperature.
all completely different. Yeah, Marrakesh and the Atlas Mountains themselves never get above about 25 degrees at any time of the year.
Okay, right.
They have a very different climate up there, Tom. But during the day, as you're getting to the refuge, you should be kind of cruising in there about 4 o'clock in the evening. It'll be dipping at about 10 degrees. But I've seen me in there in a t-shirt and maybe just pull my fleece on for the last couple of hours. But that's about it.
Jason, I know the mountains are unpredictable before I say this, but what's the likelihood, or what's the, like, how often do they get heavy rainfall or anything like that? Is it common over there, or is it uncommon?
No, the months that we've selected, the trip months that we've selected for you are favorable. But again, you are right, Mark. I mean, it is the mountains we are in. We can't predict rain or wind or snow, but I don't think you'll be faced with that at all.
It's unlikely.
Yeah. I am going to say, be prepared, like as a good scout, be prepared. It's with you. You need that rain jacket as your final protection there. You need you need the rain jacket and you need the rain pants, and you're not going to get away without them. And you may not even put them on you, but at least you have the SOS built in to your jacket. All right, folks. Any last questions? If you do come away from this call and think, oh my God, I forgot to ask that question, you all have my WhatsApp number. It's certainly in the information pack. It's certainly on the website. I love taking calls or messages. You're not bugging me. I love to share information and help people along in their journey. Anybody that's training at the minute, keep it going. Anybody that's on an imminent trip, just make sure to protect yourself. Don't get injured on the last couple of weeks now as you lead into it. But anybody that's got about a month or a month and a half or maybe 2 months out yet to go, keep the shoe down, keep the training going. The fitter you are, the more you're going to enjoy the trek. The fitter you are, the more you're going to enjoy the trip. Tom, I'm enjoying your car there. I think it's class.
I'm in Mayo.
I think it's brilliant, man.
Are the kids coming too?
Reminds me of myself. Oh, it's brilliant. It's priceless. It's priceless. All right, guys. Sarah, I will reach out to you privately, and the folks that are on the 7-day, I'll reach out to you by WhatsApp as well. And to the rest of you, you have my details. Don't be a stranger. Reach out to me if you need anything. And if you need final bits of preparation, and more important, if I don't talk to you, enjoy the experience.
Thanks so much, Jason. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
You in the comers.